So you'll see a notice. There we go. We're live streaming on YouTube, just so you're aware of that. And let's get started. Let's get on the record just for introductions. Welcome to docket 5820 UR116, the application of Superior Water, Light, and Power for authority to adjust retail electric, gas, and water rates. This is Mike Newmark, the Administrative Law Judge for the PSC. We're all connected to Zoom at this hearing today. We have the applicant, interveners, and commission staff in attendance. And this is both a party hearing session and a public session. So we will be taking evidence from the parties and commission staff and comments from the public. And we do have one other person joining us right now. So let's just go off the record. So we did just have Dave Ojala who joined us. And I'm wondering if you're a member of the public and if you'd like to make a comment, we can take that comment now. Just let me know.
Dave's
No,
just he's in our corporate communications office.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That clear. Okay, so we'll continue then. So let's get back on the record. So we are starting the hearing. We'll move right into the party hearing session. At this time, seeing no members of the public in attendance to make a comment. We'll also make that opportunity available at the end of the hearing. So I just want to direct Soman, if you see people joining, it looks like you've been letting people in, but just keep letting people into Zoom as they come.
Will do.
Thanks. So I just also wanted to note that we'll be accepting public comments in writing up until Monday, September 19th. That'll be through the commission's website and by US mail. So if we receive those comments on time, I'll put those in the record. Otherwise, like I said, we'll take comments at the end of the day here. So I think we've used up the notice here. Oh, where's my... So I'm going to display on the screen the service list, and we can just go off the record to discuss the list. So just wondered if parties have received this list. I emailed it yesterday, and if there are any corrections or additions we need to make.
Your Honor, Rich Savacool here. Yes, Ms. Maney's email address listed on there is an outdated email address.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, pen and paper comes in handy sometimes. Let me just jot that down. What do you have for her email at this point?
K Maney, the same first part at wi.rr.com.
Okay, and I think I am using that address for her representation with other parties. So I do have that on file in another entry on our system, so I can make that adjustment. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, that would have been.
Thank you.
Big discrepancy there. Yeah, great. Anything else for the service list? No? All right, thanks. So our usual process, we'll move over to the offered evidence list and just deal with first the list itself. Any corrections to the filings listed there or additions we need to make, something I might have missed?
Thank you, Your Honor. We had a couple of clarifications. We can ask those now if you want. And then also...
yeah, I'm just looking for the entries on the list specifically, you know, if the numbers are right, if the filings are...
Yeah, we're missing one direct for Young.
Okay.
So she had filed two directs, including the one on April 29th.
Okay, so they're both valid filings.
Yeah, there's two separate ones.
Okay.
Separate directs.
I missed that. There was a number of refiling. You know what? Is there a possibility you'd have the PSC reference number?
I
That-
do. 437073.
437073.
73.
Okay, thanks. So unfortunately, that probably meant I didn't review it. so I may have a few comments on that. Okay, I don't see anything out of the ordinary at this time, just looking for filing requirements. Hopefully there's nothing controversial that people need to question anyone on. Okay. So I'll add that into the final list. I'll accept those when we get to the time to accept the entries on the list. Any other corrections we need to make to the list?
No, nothing else, Your Honor.
All right. So in terms of the comments, anything specific someone needs a clarification on in terms of the filing comments that I shared? I'm going to just have you view the comments in this revision panel here. So, well, let me go through them. Just a couple that I wanted to mention. So just in terms of a clarification for Nelson, if the witness can just give us a really quick explanation of if there is any significance to the highlights or colored text on the exhibits, the Nelson exhibits, just give us an up or down whether there's any meaning to that. I just want to make sure the commission understood. I think I've gone through this a number of times recently, and it's just basically the way the document's formatted. It just puts some colors in. They're arbitrary. But in case there is some meaning behind that, let us know, and the witness can explain that on the stand.
And Your Honor, there is no significance to the highlight. And so I guess our only question is, should we resubmit with the highlight removed, or how would you like that?
No, we don't need to do that. I just want to make sure it's on the record.
Okay.
So any question with the Young direct, there should be a new Young exhibit that just enters into the record the pages of the Albrecht direct from the previous case that was cited. And the way we do that is we take, it's an exhibit, so we have a cover page, then we take the first page of the exhibit, first page of the testimony, include that in the exhibit, and then include the cited pages as well. That's I didn't mark that yet because I saw there were two, so I left those open for now. So we'll get when we get on the record, we'll mark those. And then the second exhibit is the Enbridge, the data request response Enbridge 1. That should be a Young exhibit as well. And I just wanted to give you a heads up, and this is a really good example, so I thought I'd take it the moment just to let you see this. So the way that the data request is being used in testimony kind of really drives why we would want to put it into evidence. So Manny's description, Manny's citation to the data request response really didn't require it to be an exhibit. So witness is just saying that she appreciates the response, the timing, the expeditious response. That's fine. It's just just a mention in testimony. But then, as Young is using the data request response, that's really going to become part of the record, because it's actually it's using it substantively, but it's also just kind of stating that if you agree with the data request response, that needs to be presented in evidence, rather than possibly taking a portion out and maybe placing it in indirect as a table or something like that, or quoting it directly. But the mention of it in this way, like Young is doing here, it's going to require it go into evidence. So we'll just make that another Young exhibit. And it's not already being offered in some other exhibit, is it?
It is not, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, good. And that's like, I guess when I mentioned discuss citations of data request responses, that's kind of what I was going to bring up. But this was a really good example, so just use that as a touchstone when you're creating the testimony. And I just wanted to have staff confirm if it will be filing that data request response exhibit. Is that going to be the case in this? Okay. Still muted. There we go.
Sorry, Your Honor, we're having technical difficulties here. I have too many windows open. Yes, that is the intention of staff to be offering that exhibit. Thank you.
So I noticed let's see, there's 5 data request responses I saw cited in testimony. So are those going to be in the data request exhibit?
Yes, they will.
Okay, all right. So that'll be fine. I think we'll just leave it at that, and we won't refile testimony to reflect the presence of those data request responses in the exhibit. We'll know that they're there. And I guess is staff planning on filing all of the data request responses in the exhibit, or what's it?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Okay, there you go. All right. I think that may. Yeah, so we have a few other questions for staff. We can take those on the stand. Okay, so with that, I believe we can get on the record. So what I plan to do now, get on the record, but I'm just going to accept the documents on the offered evidence list as listed, including the additional Young direct, pending the verification of these documents, either on the stand or filed in an affidavit. Any objections to that? Okay, so those documents are in the record, and we do have a number of witnesses, I believe, that there's no cross-examination for. Now there may be additional direct, so we'll give those witnesses a chance to take the stand, but if there's no cross or additional direct, those witnesses, we can receive those documents. We can verify those documents by affidavit. So we can go off the record to discuss that. So off the record, I guess the best way to do it in this case is any witnesses we need to take the stand, either for additional direct or responding to surrebuttal or for cross.
None for the applicant, Your Honor.
Okay.
None for Cub.
None for Enbridge, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and with staff witnesses going to take the stand just to verify?
Yes, they will, Your Honor. And I believe you probably had some questions based on the offered evidence list for them. And I think we do have actually one further correction that staff will make to an exhibit, but we can address that on the stand if it pleases the court.
Yep, that'll work. So at this point, we'll just have Nelson verify the highlights, but besides Nelson and staff, I think we can excuse the rest of the witnesses with as long as they verify their testimony by affidavit. So let's get on the record. So I've polled staff and parties, and we have agreement that the following witnesses need not appear and can verify their testimony by affidavit. It's Brixson, Gardner, Parenteau, Scandal, Smith, Young, Kime, Singletary, Manny. So let's see, we won't have Young on the stand, but at this point, let's mark 2 additional Young exhibits. It'll be a Young 10 and 11. And so 10 will be, get this right. Yes. Okay. 10 will be the extracted pages of the Albrecht direct testimony that's cited in Young's direct. And Young 11 will be the data request response Enbridge 1. So those filings, as well as the corrected testimony for all the parties, witnesses, due in 3 working days. Okay. So I think we have Nelson. Just have Nelson call Nelson and just ask him that clarifying question.
This is Nick Nelson, Your Honor.
All right, great. So raise your right hand. And do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. So I'll just introduce you. Get your testimony here. So you're Nicholas S. Nelson, is that correct?
Yes,
And you're an employee with Superior Water, Light, and Power Company.
that is correct.
And you filed direct, surrebuttal, and 4 exhibits, the 4th exhibit being revised.
Yes.
Okay. So are all those filings complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So I just had a quick question for you regarding your exhibits. And we can go through them individually, but I think you probably understand what I'm talking about. There's some of the exhibits, they do have highlighted text or colored text. And I just was curious, is there any significance behind that coloring or highlighting, or is it is there no real meaning behind that?
There's no real significance behind it as it impacts the calculations. It's more a reference for myself as I was updating things.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing for me, sir.
Okay. And I should just make sure no questions based on what I've asked from any of the parties. Okay, great. Okay, that's great. Thanks very much for your participation, and I can excuse you now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So I believe we have everything set for the parties, applicant, intervener, and we can move on to commission staff.
Your
Commission staff-
Honor,
Oh, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I did have, if I may, I did have one question about Mr. Singletary's direct testimony. Given the discussion about the data request response exhibit, should that reference stay as is, or should it be updated to reference Young Exhibit 6?
Oh, okay. I can leave it as is in this case, just to make things a little simpler. I know we're all working on multiple cases at this time, so we can leave it just to reference the data request response, similar to the staff data request responses that have been cited. Leave them as they are. You don't need to update them to reflect the fact that they're in the staff exhibit. That'll be understood in this case. So thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you for that clarification.
Sure. Okay, so ready for commission staff?
Commission staff calls Justin Adams, please.
Okay, there you are. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Justin Adams.
And what is your position at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin?
I am a financial analyst with the Public Service Commission.
And did you file or cause to be filed direct Adams, surrebuttal Adams, and 1 exhibit in this proceeding?
I did.
And do you have any additional corrections to your testimony or exhibit at this time beyond what was discussed off the record today?
I do not.
If you were asked the same questions today, would you provide the same answers that you provided in your testimony, withholding any of those corrections?
I would.
All right, thank you. The witness is available for cross.
Any questions for witness Adams? Okay, so I did want to mention, I don't want the record to get confused here, but so I was requesting that witness Adams refile Adams 1R and rename it Adams 2. And this is another one of these quirks of our paper filing process because Adams 1 was commented on in testimony. We want to keep that on the record. And Adams 2 is, correcting Adams 1, but it's really a new filing that we can discuss separately from Adams 1. So if we could refile Adams 1R as Adams 2, and then change that testimony with the new reference. I think that's all the corrections I mentioned for that. So that's in surrebuttal. Let's change the reference in surrebuttal. And then there was one other clarifying question that I had for the witness related to that 10% rate of return statement in his direct. So this goes back to direct PSC Adams 16, and I don't really have a quote of this in front of me, but I don't know if it's necessary to bring it up on the screen. But if you could just clarify the 10% rate of return on common equity as the point estimate for calculating revenue requirement, that's what you mentioned in your direct testimony. Is that equivalent in this case to 8% return on net investment rate base?
It is in this case. It's reflected in the sensitivity analysis in Schedule 3 of my exhibit.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, so any questions based on that?
Your Honor, just a clarification on your clarification. So is it your expectation that there would be a revised filing based on this clarification, or just leave it at that it's here in the hearing?
No, that's fine. It doesn't change any testimony. It just relates the 10% to the 8%. So I just want to make sure that that's connected because of the Fisher use of 8%. So that's why we're just connecting the dots here on the stand.
Thank you.
All right, great. All right, so anything else for Adams? No? Okay, you're excused. Thanks.
Commission staff calls Cade Bauer-Showers, please.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Cade Bauer-Showers.
And did you file or cause to be filed direct testimony and 2 exhibits in this proceeding labeled Exhibit PSC Bauer-Showers 1 and 2?
Yes.
Do you have any additional corrections to your testimony or exhibits beyond what was discussed off the record today?
No.
If you were asked the same questions today, would you provide the same answers that you provided in your testimony?
Yes.
Okay, witness is available for cross.
All right. Any questions? No. All right, you're excused. Thanks.
Thank you.
Commission staff calls Andrew Eder, please.
Okay, all set. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Andrew Eider.
And what is your position at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin?
I'm a public utility rate analyst.
And did you file or cause to be filed direct Eider and 2 exhibits, Exhibit PSC Eider 1 and PSC Exhibit Eider 2?
Yes, I did.
And do you have any additional corrections to your testimony or the exhibits at this time beyond what was discussed off the record?
Yes, I'd like to point out that in Exhibit PSC Eider 1, there's a formula error that impacts lines 48 and 49 of page 1 of Schedule 1. and point out that lines 48 and 49 are presented for illustrative purposes only and did not inform the underlying analysis that was used for the purpose of developing my proposed revenue allocation and rate design. Therefore, this correction will not impact my proposed revenue allocation and rates, but commission staff intends to submit a revised exhibit that corrects this formula error.
Thank you. And then if you were asked the same questions today that you were asked in your testimony and revised exhibits, would you provide the same answers withholding those corrections?
Yes.
All right, the witness is available for cross.
Okay, so just want to confirm that's either one that we're correct.
Yes.
Okay, any questions? No? All right, thanks, you're excused.
Commission staff calls Andrew Fisher, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Andrew Fisher.
And what is your position at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin?
I'm a water utility rate analyst.
And did you file or cause to be filed direct testimony and one exhibit labeled Exhibit PSC Fisher 1?
Yes, I did.
And do you have any additional corrections to your testimony or exhibit beyond what was discussed off the record today?
No.
If you were asked the same questions today, would you provide the same answers that you provided in your testimony?
Yes.
The witness is available.
Just had one clarifying question. So there's the errata that you filed, and I put that on the screen here. And I was just curious, just to close the loop here, your reference on line 4 to rate of return. Should that read return on net investment rate base? Oops, I'm messing this up here. Sorry about that.
Yes.
I don't know where that, there we go. I don't know where that went. Okay, but it should, okay, it should say that. Now, I think in terms of the errata, that's not directly correcting a statement you made in direct. That's just explaining the use that the change that you made to use the 8% figure.
Yes.
So I don't believe anything needs to be refiled. I just want to make sure we understand what you meant. Okay, thanks. And yeah, that's fine. So any questions for the witness? Okay, you're excused. Thanks.
All right, commission staff calls Mitch Horry, please.
All right, there you are. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Mitchell Horry.
And what is your position at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin?
I'm focused on energy performance manager.
We're having a little trouble hearing you. Sorry. Yeah, maybe just adjusting your mic should do it.
My position is the focus on energy performance manager.
And did you file or cause to be filed direct and serve rebuttal testimony in this proceeding?
Yes.
Do you have any additional corrections to your testimony at this time beyond what was discussed off the record?
No.
If you were asked the same questions today, would you provide the same answers that you provided in your testimony?
Yes, I would.
Okay, the witness is available for cross.
Any questions? No? All right, thanks. You're excused.
Commission staff calls Jennifer Malley.
There you are. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Jennifer Malley.
And what is your position at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin?
I'm a public utility auditor.
And did you file or cause to be filed direct testimony and serve rebuttal testimony along with one exhibit marked Exhibit PSC Malley 1?
Yes, I did.
And do you have any additional corrections to your testimony or the exhibit at this time beyond anything that was discussed off the record today?
No, I do not.
If you were asked the same questions today, would you provide the same answers that you provided?
Yes, I would.
Okay, the witness is available for cross.
Any questions? No. All right, thanks. You're excused.
Commission staff calls Jill Rose, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Jill Rose,
And what is your position at the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin?
Public Utility Auditor.
And did you file direct testimony in this docket?
Yes.
Do you have any additional corrections to your testimony beyond anything that was discussed off the record today?
No.
If you were asked the same questions, would you provide the same answers that you provided in your testimony?
Yes.
The witness is available for cross.
Any questions? No? All right, that's our last witness. Thanks, you're excused. Now I'm looking at our participant list here on Zoom, and I see no members of the public who wish to give us a comment here. So at this point, we can get set to close up here. I just wanted to mention that we will remain open for receiving comments. Let me get the notice back so I don't mess the date up. Here we go. Yes, so Monday, September 19th, we can accept written comments up until that date, like I said, through the commission's website or by US mail. So there's still an opportunity to do that. And I did want to mention, if we receive 5 or more written comments, commission staff will file this public comment exhibit. Otherwise, they'll just be listed at the bottom of this sheet when I produce the final version of the offered evidence list, which I'll call a received evidence list. So just a heads up on that. Otherwise, any questions about the process going forward? We have post-hearing schedule already set, so look forward to your corrected refilings, the new young exhibits, and the briefs. So thanks very much. We're adjourned. Oh, we're not adjourned.
I didn't know if this is I'm sorry, Your Honor, Rich Sayavacool. I didn't know if this is appropriate for on the record or off the record. One other thing we noted that we did not comply with the pre-hearing order was we have a cover page on direct and rebuttal of Enbridge's witness. Removing the cover page would change the page numbers. I'm just not sure what the preference is with respect to that correction.
Okay, yeah, we can go off the record for that. So is that on all of the direct?
On witness Maney's direct and
oh yes, right. You're right. Sorry. I think let's see if she has page numbers. Okay, so we start on 2 here, 3. Okay. Oh, that's tricky. Well, I would just so when you refile, I guess there's really no prohibition for having a cover page on your direct testimony. So I didn't really think of it as an issue to have presented it this way.
Okay.
And I think what I'd like to see is on the, and I did put that in this case. Did I?
Yep.
Yeah. So I would just it's just having the page number meet the to conform to the standard where it says direct EE Manny 1. So then when we're scrolling through, we know who we're reading because sometimes you forget. So yeah, so just change the page numbers themselves. You don't need to change the first 2 pages. You can repeat those.
Very good. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, great.
Your Honor, I had one other quick minor clarification.
Yeah.
Sure. On the refilings, how should we be naming them? For example, Gardner has a line number behind the new refile title, but Frickson does not. Is there a preference that you have?
Okay, let me see what you're. Gardner has a line.
But Brixton does not have a line number behind it.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's an, so no, that was just, I was gonna be referring to, yeah, that was incorrect. So yeah, no line number or page number on the filing itself. So that's the name of the document. Just direct PSC Gardner R. And then as you're naming each page, add the page number to each page.
Okay.
Sequentially throughout the document. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was just cutting and pasting things and kept the 11 there by accident. So sorry to confuse you.
Oh, that's okay. I'm new to this too, so I appreciate that.
Oh. Anything else? Okay, so let's get on the record. So now we are officially adjourned. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.